tortillas is one of those things that really takes taco night from good to fantastic. And my favorite way to char tortilla is actually over the open flame on your gas stove. All you do is take your tortilla, I've got corn and flour, you put it over your open flame and you put the flame on. Then you're just waiting for the one side to blister up a little. You're looking for a little bit of black spots on there. It's gonna take about 15 to 30 seconds. All right, let's try one with a flour tortilla. And whoop, a little bit of smoke, that's good. Don't worry about that. That just means that we got some nice charring. And that's not burned, that's just char that tastes really good. You can see that it's still nice and soft. So that's my favorite method, but I understand you might not have a gas stove, so there are other ways to do that. My second favorite method is using a pan. I like to use a nonstick pan, but a regular pan will work too. You want to put it over high heat, just like you did for when you were doing them over the open flame. And you want to let your pan really heat up, because once again, we just want the outside to crisp really quickly without the inside getting too dried out. So then we're just going to put the tortilla, dry, nothing on it, just in the pan. And same thing, you're waiting for it to bubble up a little bit, and it's going to get those nice little spots on the bottom side, just like you would if you were using an open flame. If you're finding that your corn tortillas are drying out a little bit too much with this pan method, what you can do is you can run them through some cold water first, just for a second, and then put them in the pan. And what that'll do is it'll kind of help them retain a little bit of that moisture. However, if you're doing that method, make sure you use a non-stick pan. All right, that looks pretty good to me. And a flour one. So I definitely prefer to do it those first two ways that I showed you, but you definitely can also do it under your broiler because it's an open flame. So what you want to do is get your broiler as hot as possible, so turn it up to high if you have that option, and make sure you get the pan as close to the flame as possible. Mine's already nice and set up, really, really close. I'm just going to take my flour, my corn tortilla, and get them in there. All right, those are going to take an extra minute. The flour is definitely going to be done first. Just keep an eye on them, and when one side has a nice little brown texture to the top, that's when you want to flip them. So as you can see, the flour one is done a little bit sooner than the corn one. So I'm going to leave the corn on the first side, but I'm going to flip the flour. I love it. So with a flour one, you'll find that it's a little bit more dried out than the first two options that I gave you to char a tortilla, but it's still fine. It's still nice and bendy. The corn one, however, usually gets a little bit more dried out, so we'll see how he's doing. All right, he looks pretty good. You'll see kind of what I mean. It's pretty dried out, and it's really not as bendable as you would want. But it's not bad. There's something to be said for it, and hey, say that you kind of like a hard taco and you can't decide between a hard taco and a soft shell taco for your taco night, well, this kind of gives you both because you kind of got a hard one and kind of a soft one. So not my favorite method, but the broiler definitely works. The point is, there's a lot of great ways to char your tortillas, so next time you have a taco night, make sure to char them up and have a real restaurant quality kind of night.